What's going on, everybody? In this video, we are going to talk about defense versus dribbling. Defense versus dribbling attacks. We call it practicing our shell defense versus different types of scenarios. And again, in this video, we're going to talk about our defense, our shell defense versus dribbling or a dribble attack. Okay, the defense that we are demonstrating in this video is man-to-man defense. And we are going to demonstrate that defense versus the first two types of attacks that we will see in games we play. The first type being the baseline drive, okay, where a player on the corner or maybe the wing, depending on the scenario, attacks with the dribble along the baseline. So it looks like that. Their dribble might be an attack along the baseline. Actually, let's go like this. Let's give it a wiggly line. And that simulates a dribble attack to the baseline. Okay, so that's a baseline drive. We are going to talk about our defensive rotations. In order to understand those defensive rotations, you have to go back and watch video 1 on shell defense versus passing to learn the basic rotations. Okay, so make sure you've watched that video first. Okay, the other video or the other type of baseline drive that we'll talk about is, and what is a baseline drive? Well, a baseline drive is any drive where there's no teammate between you and the baseline. So let's say 4 is right up here on the guard slot and 3 has the ball. There's no teammate between 3 and the baseline in this space here. That type of attack is considered a baseline drive. Okay, doesn't matter which way they go to get there, but it can fake this way and come this way. Those are all baseline drives. As soon as he starts to turn downhill and attack up towards the hoop, is considered a baseline drive. Okay, so any drive where there is no teammate between you and the baseline is considered a baseline drive. Every other type of drive, let's put a teammate back here to the baseline. Every other type of drive is considered dribble penetration, whether he goes low or medium or low or high. Those are all considered dribble penetration or dribble pen for short, and they have a different way to defend it that we must recognize versus a baseline drive. So we want to talk about these two types of dribbling attacks and the rules and responsibilities of each player on the court when these attacks happen. So let's go right into those. Okay, so 4 has the ball. Oh, let's reset that. Let's take away that. 4 has the ball. We have an on-ball defender. We have a gap defender. We have 2 in help. Let's put in our help spots quickly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and the side help, ball side help. There we go. So help rotations. Okay, so we have one player in deny. We have an on-ball defender. Okay, and we have ball is below the free throw line, so we know that these 2 players are supposed to be all the way onto the rim line. Okay, and their backs are to the baseline, their head is on a swivel, their guns are up, they can see they're checking their ball. Okay, now we have a baseline drive. So usually the first scenario for baseline drives is whether the wing might be up here or the wing receives a pass from the guard or the wing dribbles to the wing spot with the ball. The first type of dribble penetration that we'll see being the baseline drive comes off of usually a quick sweep action or quick attack, meaning when the wing passes to the corner, as soon as the corner receives that pass, they know that for at least a half of a second, their player is going to be out of position because they were in deny. Okay, they were in deny, or maybe they were in the gap a little bit. Okay, they were in deny, maybe they were up a little bit, and that ball came across. They have a moment where they can sweep that ball and they have an attacking lane baseline to be able to drive and get to the hoop. Okay, so now knowing that their defender needs to rotate to the driving lane, let's say 4 beats them, and their defender is only able to rotate to their side of the drive, can't get all the way in position. Now we have the first type of attack that we need to learn how to defend. So 4 now is defending the baseline drive from a side position. The first attack defense is that help must rotate to side help and stop or help defend the baseline drive before it gets into the key. Okay? If help is late to its rotation or late to coming, and 4 gets the ball into the key, help may end up having to foul or be called for a foul if they come in to try to defend that, or they may be stuck in an area that we call jail, which is a little kind of half circle area there, and 4 may have an easy layup shot because they were able to get position first. So rotations are super important. Anticipating the rotation, even more important. Okay, so the first drive we were practicing, again, the baseline drive, 5 was in goalie position. We want the perfect stop. So ultimately the perfect stop would be if 4 could get position and stop ball by his or herself, that would be the perfect stop. But let's just say they didn't and they gave up baseline drive, which happens in games, and 4 is able to start their drive and their attack to the hoop. We want to make sure that 5 reads that and is anticipating that. You can tell if a player is anticipating and they're active on defense, if they're on their toes, they're not flat-footed, they're active, they're moving, there's a little bit of an energy going on, and they have a bounce in their step, and they see that 4 is attacking and his on-ball defender or your teammate didn't get position, so they start to come and rotate and beat them to the line. That sideline of the key, this line that I'm rubbing number 5 along, let's say that's a finish line. And 5 beats them outside of that finish line before 4 can get inside of it. Okay, that becomes like a double team right there. So 2 players on the ball, and we definitely stopped the ball right there. Okay, 5 is now 5's the on-ball defender, 4's the side ball defender. Okay, that's a baseline drive. That's the first defense that we want to practice stopping or practice getting to. Okay, now our help defenders, we need to talk about those guys. On the baseline drive, what does this guy do? What does number 2 do? Okay, well, number 2 now becomes kind of almost a pass. It's a little bit of a far pass, but let's just say it's a pass away. But we have what's called the line of the ball. Ooh, let's go. Well, it doesn't matter. That's the line of the ball, but I'd like to make it straight if I could. Okay, so that's straight line of the ball. We want 2 to learn how to melt, okay, to being parallel with the ball and create less space for 4 to make a play. So to get in line with the ball so that 4 can only make limited amount of passes. Okay, so on that baseline drive, when 4 starts to dribble, 2, or let's say it's the 3. Let's say it's the 3. So 3, because 3 will be with 3, 2. 3 sees that 4 is driving baseline and starts to melt with 4, staying in line with the ball. Okay? That allows other passes, but to his player, that allows not much of space for him to get back. So 4s get double teamed by 4, his own check, and 5 helps. 3 is in line. Okay? What does 2 do? 2 is here, 2 is in the lane line, 5 left to help and stop ball. What does 2 have to do? Well, we know that These squares are the hot spots in a game of basketball, meaning they're the best places for the offense to get to attack and score the basketball. That's why they're called help spots. We need to help defend those areas. Okay, we know that 5 had to leave the hottest spot, which is right under the rim. Okay, 5 had to leave defending that spot so that we could stop ball and make it and take away the lane, make it harder. 2 needs to drop down and help in that spot. Okay, what that does is that also takes away this pass right here. If 2 reads that pass happened, 2 might be able to step in front of that pass and rob it, okay, and steal it. Okay, 2 would also, being in this spot right here, 2 would also deter this pass from happening. May make 4 think twice about throwing this pass. Okay, also may make 4 think twice about throwing this pass because they see an active 2 in the goalie spot, being active, hands high, arms are up, defending these passing lanes. Okay, they're active. So really 4, all they have left is a retreat dribble and then a swing back to 3. Okay, once we see that retreat, okay, 4 might start retreat. Well, 4's defender now can get into front position. Okay, and now 5 doesn't have to stay. 5 can rotate back to their help. Ball's still low. 2 can rotate back up. Okay, 3 can start to rotate and stay on the line as that ball comes back up and out. Okay, so we're moving with the ball as the ball is being dribbled. Players are moving with the ball to stay in position, depending on where you are. Okay, and as the ball maybe is being retreated, players are retreating with the ball to maintain position. As that ball comes back up, we know that 3 has to rotate out to on ball. 4 will rotate to deny, taking away that pass. Just enough where they don't have to put their whole body in the passing lane, but they can get their arm up and deflect it if needed. So 4 would be able to raise his arm up there and deny that pass. They know they're in good position. We know now that 3 has brought the ball above the free throw line. Okay, so now we know that once that ball is above the free throw line, 5 and 2 can rotate into the side help positions. Okay, 1 foot in the key. Maybe they're 2, just depending. It'll ebb and flow. Maybe they don't even need to be all the way in the key because they're fast. Okay, but if they're not fast, maybe they want to be in slightly, but they don't need to be, or they do not want to be fully in, because then it makes it much harder for them to rotate. But they also give up these cutter spots where a player could cut to and get easy scores. So the advantage is being able to play both of those spots and take away them by being in a better position when the ball is far. So now 3 is here. Okay, we got on ball position, we got deny. Okay, we got good help positioning. Okay, their spacing is good. Okay, we're 4 out. Now we're going to talk about dribble penetration quickly here. Boom. Okay, dribble penetration is when a player has a teammate on the baseline and they want to drive this way. We're going to talk about the dribble penetration, which is we call a wide drive or a high penetration, where we're going to attack going this way to the hoop, that lane. This is more of a straight line attack. That's fine. You can try those. But we anticipate, let's take away that. We anticipate that our defender is playing good defense, forcing us maybe to the help. Okay, but they're playing good on-ball defense, and we don't really have a straight line, so we start to take the attack that's a little bit wider, and they're sliding with us, always staying between the ball or their man. Yeah, the ball in the hoop, their man in the hoop. Okay, they're on that line no matter what that line might look like. They're maintaining good position on that drive, okay, between the ball and the hoop. And they're forcing the dribbler to continue their drive the long way or the wide way to try to get to that rim. Now, because the dribble penetration is wide, we know that 2 may come in and help pressure that ball, forcing 3 to make that pass. And we know that 4 now might start to slide in because of the ball's line into help position, because now they're 2 passes away. Okay, they're more than 2 passes away. Their check is far. So 4 will slide into a position where if they didn't slide, what would happen is 3 could change direction and have a lane, lot of space to get to that lane, right? So we need to make sure that as a team defense, we are rotating. When the ball moves, we move. Okay, we don't stay in position when the ball is moving away from us. When the ball is moving away from us, we move with the ball to make sure that we keep defense on all possible lanes to the hoop. Okay, so now here we know that this player may need to, on this speed drive, maybe they got side position. Anytime that side position occurs, our help has to be anticipating that and be able to jump that lane and take away that lane, that on-ball position, okay? So again, let me repeat that. Anytime a driver beats their defender and puts their defender on their hip, ultimately getting a lane to the hoop, okay? They now have a lane to the hoop, it looks like that, because their defender lost position is now on their hip. The help has to be able to come and get on ball position. Now you notice how on ball position is vital because it stops the lanes to the hoop and forces from this dribble penetration a pass. Okay? And as that pass is happening, the rotations now are slightly different. On that pass, it may need to be that 5 was here in the gap, okay? And on that pass, 5 may need to rotate and take the ball first. And 2 now rotates to gap. See that switch? That's called a switch in defense. Because 2 had to stop dribble penetration and the ball handler was able to kick that ball out, 5 anticipates that and takes ball. And 2 drops down and switches and takes 5's man. Okay, and 3 is able to rotate back into position. And then let's say 3 retreats. And then 3 rotates into help. Ball is above free throw line. We're into help here. So we're good. 1. Oh, let's go with freestyle. So let's go with this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And side help. And side help. All right. Okay, so now we go balls here, on ball, and now he can move into gap, on ball, good. So we have a change. So maybe they go, oh, matchup. So we swing it here. 5 isn't going to be as fast, but 5, it looks for baseline drive, gets cut off by 2. So in that case, 4 does not need to help because 2 is able to cut off 5 and stop dribble penetration, okay? 5 has to drop or melt into the ball line, okay, into being in line with the ball. 5 got to here, swing it back out. 5 closes out, 5 retreats. We play position, 2 dribble penetration. 2, let's say 2 is much faster than this 5 and the matchup is tough, okay? So now 3 comes in, stops the drive. Okay, forces this pass right here. We're going to wrong thing. With the ball, forces this pass right here. Let's say it's going to 4. So now 4 knows that they need to rotate out to their check as the ball is coming. Okay, and it gets caught. 3 is going to come down to help. Or 3 is going to come down to deny. So they're following the ball as well. Okay, but their check is right there, so they're going down to deny. And then 5 and 2 have to get into help position. You notice maybe I left 2 here and 2 was sleeping. Okay. Well, what happens now on that is maybe 4 gets baseline drive. Okay. What do they get? Maybe they get baseline drive. Or maybe they get dribble penetration from that position. Okay. It depends. Okay. We need to figure out our next rotation based on that. 2 is sleeping. Okay, 5 was rotating, and let's say that 4 goes baseline and beats their check. Okay, they get that side, so now they have a lane to the hoop. We know they have a lane to the hoop inside position. Okay, they have a lane to the hoop. Okay, so now, again, our rotations, it's about a rotation. What do we need? Well, we need a help defender here. There's no side defender. 2's out of position. So where do you think 5 needs to go? 5 probably needs to try to get to the ball right here and stop and help right there. Maybe 5 doesn't make it, but maybe 5 gets to right here and stops them right. I don't know, maybe they get right into the lane before 5 is able to rotate. But this is wide open, so we know 2's here. That could be a pass. Maybe 2 comes into this help position right here. We need 3, and this is why 3 needs to be aware and melt when the ball gets low, melt. Maybe they can get in and be the bottom help, or maybe they can get inside position and be the help right there on 2. Anticipating where we can help, what box we need to be in. Gets confusing as dribble penetration happens, but that is the basics of rotating positions. Help, deny, on ball. So 4 gets the ball here. We're rotating out. We're putting players in position. Ball is low, so they're in. They're on the lane line, the ball line. There we go. All right, guys, best of luck. Enjoy.